Welcome to the DJIS International School Debate Finals. Let's start off by introducing our judges at this time, Mr. Joseph, Mr. Wahbi, and Mr. Bilal. Our contestants at this time, 9 orange representing the proposition team, and 9 green. 9 green as the opposition team. They will be debating on whether bystanders have a responsibility to intervene when there's trouble or not. Now let's start with the opening statement from the proposition team.
Testing. A bystander is a person who is present in an event or an incident but does not take part in it. The matter we face today is, should these people intervene in a situation? Should bystanders intervene when there is a problem? We believe that bystanders should intervene, interfere, intercede, and interrupt any act that they deem wrong. Bystanders have the right to intervene when they see an act of domestic violence. Bystanders have the right to intervene when they see an act of child abuse. Bystanders have the right to intervene when they see an act of bullying. But unfortunately, bystanders don't uphold this right. Bystanders watch while crimes against humanity are acted. It is the job of every man, woman, and child to take care of his or her community and all those in it. What kind of society do you want to live in? Yes, the criminal element expresses itself from time to time, but when you choose to step in and engage in protecting those around you and discourage the criminal element in society, you are investing your time and energy in building a life, encouraging society for yourself and all your loved ones. Whether we believe it or not, we do shape the society we live in. Can we really live with ourselves when we ignore each other's pain? I will answer that by giving you a personal example. Last year, I was bullied by not one, not two, but 3 assailants. I was bullied in front of my entire class, in front of my entire school, in front of all my teachers. No one stood up, they all stood by. But alas, someone stood up, and that was one of my friends that I still know today. Bystander intervention can prevent countless wrongs. Thank you.
Okay, 9 green.
Good morning, fellow debaters. As the team leader, I will take an average of 2.4 minutes to define the motion, summarize why we against this motion, and light upon certain corners of the debate case which are invisible to you. Well, first of all, I believe that the bystander should hold no responsibility in the presence of trouble. Well, I'm pretty sure that right now you're thinking or asking yourself, or will be asking me, you should not intervene when you see crime. Well, actually, of course you should not intervene when you see crime. Our parents or guardians always tell us to stay away from trouble, but you show up and say we should run into the trouble itself. Okay, everybody, or let's say a correct type of interference is made available for each type of crime: rape, theft, murder, other types of crimes. Police officers are available and it's their pleasure to serve. Fire, people falling from buildings, suicide, firefighters are always available, and it's also their pleasure to help. Surgeries, diseases, bleedings, other types of medical reasons, doctors are always available, and it's also their pleasure to help. Well, let's say, for example, you see a woman that's about to give birth in the street, and nobody's around her but you. You don't run to the woman and start helping her because you have no experience. Plus, you might kill her and kill her baby. Well, however, do you even have an idea about the consequences or even the count about that you might face when interfering in a trouble? Let me help you. A bystander or bystanders interfering in the presence of trouble can face at minimum 18 different consequences. Nevertheless, or moreover, 90% of the interference are A, underage, B, don't own enough experience, C, will face one of the 18 consequences, D, a wrong interference, E, judged by color, F, judged by cloth, G, judged by shape, H, don't have enough physical force, I, are actually criminals, J, weaker victims, K, other than what I said, and L, all of what I said. Arguing about this case is crucially important, because thousands of people put their lives and the lives of the victims on the red line when intervening in the presence of trouble. And I would like to conclude my introduction with a saying that your father and my father and his father always used to say, mind where you poke your nose if you want to keep it. And I would like to paraphrase this saying into mind your life if you'd like to keep it.
Okay, now we'll start with round 2. The proposition team, present your main arguments.
Treat others the same way you would like to be treated. This is probably the best way to think of it. Imagine yourself in total helplessness and hopelessness, while bystanders have a glance at you and walk away, or even take pictures and videos of you and then eventually walk away. Bystanders don't bother to help you at all. How would you feel? Or imagine this happened to one of your family members or loved ones that passed away in an attack. And then you got to know that there were 7 or more bystanders. If one of them tried to help the victim, or in this case, someone related to you, the human being would not have died. Can you believe you are supporting people that cause more crime instead of preventing crime?
Two enormous problems we have in this world today are rape and sexual assault. If you saw someone getting sexually assaulted and intervened, it can help that person avoid future emotional problems like depression or anxiety. In some cases, it doesn't have to be something huge. You can just simply say, hey, leave her alone, or back off. Sometimes it could be a bit more difficult, but also extremely possible. I have an example that shows it here. Catherine Genovese, a 28-year-old woman, was raped and murdered brutally on March 13th, 1964. The killer stabbed, raped, and killed her. With 12 witnesses. All of these witnesses depended on each other to intervene or jump in to help the poor suffering woman. It eventually ended in nobody helping her, and she got killed without anybody intervening. They didn't even call the police until the murderer fled and the horrible deed was already over. Now, ask yourself this question. What would have happened if one of them or all of them tried to intervene and help? The answer that most people would conclude is that they would have easily stopped the murderer from committing the rape or the homicide. Take into consideration that every single one of those 12 people just watched the girl get raped and killed without even moving from their seats. How does that make you feel? Imagine the guilt and regret those people have for the rest of their lives. It wouldn't be exactly easy or simple to prevent something like that alone, but there are 12 people. That is more than enough to prevent a crime like that from happening. There are many good and helpful organizations that promote intervening against sexual assault incidents, but one truly stood out to me. It was made back in 2014 by 2 government officials in the USA. President Obama and Vice President Biden joined leaders from universities, media companies, and the sport world to launch the It's On Us campaign against sexual assaults on college campuses. It's On Us is a cultural movement aimed at fundamentally changing the way we think about sexual assault. It's On Us is a rallying cry inviting everyone to step up and realize that the solution begins with us. It's on us, all of us.
You might be wondering, why should bystanders intervene or how? Let us start things off with the reason that people should intervene. On June 16, 2008, family, friends, and strangers watched Sergio Aguiar stomp his 2-year-old son to death. Have you ever seen a father kill his son with his own foot? I'm sure you are thinking that he is a psycho or he has mental illnesses, and that is why nobody even tried to intervene. Actually, there were 17 people there and that were watching the man kill his son. After he finished killing his son, his fiancée called the police. Why didn't she call them earlier? She would have saved his life. Or why didn't they intervene earlier? Other than a man killing his own son, a 16-year-old girl called Amy Joyner was reportedly fighting with another girl over a boy until a group of girls came and hit her and then smacked her head on the bathroom sink while all the students were watching. 22 students were there watching. Nobody called the teachers or the police or anybody. They just watched her die. Life-saving interventions were delayed for the recklessness of the people and for the joy for taking pictures and watching and taking videos. Amy was rushed to the hospital by a helicopter, and when they arrived, she was already dead. I say that there would have been a chance for at least preventing the death of all these victims. There would have been many ways to intervene. It's not necessary for people to act personally. It may cause danger, yes, but everybody should know how to act. They are all mature enough. Everybody should know how and when to act. In car accidents, people can't touch the patient. They should call the specialized forces here. Intervening is in many ways. Even if they were children, a group of children were bullying another one. You saw them and tried to stop, but you couldn't. Why not tell the supervisor or the teachers? That would definitely prevent them from bullying. I did my turn. Now it's your turn to judge.
Okay. Now moving on to the cross-examination part.
We're not finished with the body.
You still? طيب ماشي continue. Sorry.
Bystander effect. The bystander effect is a psychological phenomenon that refers to cases in which individuals do not offer any help of means to the victim when other people are present. The probability of help is inversely proportional to the number of people. For example, when there are 4 or more people who are bystanders to an emergency situation, the likelihood that at least one of them would help is just 31%. Now that clearly proves the more bystanders, the less help provided. My call here is to make a movement no matter how many people there are. Because when one person tries to help, others will follow.
Be an active bystander. Don't just watch. Did you know that in Japan it is punishable by law that a bystander leaves a person in need? The least that you could get is 6 months in prison. And that is just Japan. There are also South Korea and Sweden who follow the same law. Also, bystander intervention is now part of our education. In some universities, courses are given to students. They give them the tools and techniques needed to be an active bystander. Examples of these universities are Harvard and Stanford. Also, there has been a ton of campaigns to spread awareness for the bystander awareness. Most notably of these are the Step Up campaign. Thank you. We're done with our main arguments.
Now we'll start with the cross-examination part, where each of the teams will have a chance to question the other. I would like to remind you to refrain. خلوا طول examination بعدين معكم.
So we cross first. Yeah.
طيب ماشي. Sorry. Start. أنتم مش ملخبطين.
Hello, everybody. My name is Carlos Sherman, and today I am here to show you why why my team and I believe that no, bystanders should not intervene. Firstly, what is the definition of the word intervene? The definition, as defined by Webster Dictionary, is defined as to take part in something or to come between disputing forces, groups, etc. This means that intervene means to physically or personally involve yourself in a situation. And this is not a good thing. But intervene does not mean to call the police. As the other team has gladly said, yes, we should call the special forces. As they gladly said, yes, calling the police is good. I don't know why they listed cases for these people who called the police too late, but they should have called the police early. We're not going against bystanders. We're not going against doing anything. We're saying that you should call the police instead of just walking away. Now, why should a bystander not interfere? Firstly, by interfering, he could be gravely injured or even die. Hamid Aminzada, age 19. 22-year-old Manhattan Kolang Saham. And Jim Buabua, age 32, father of 2. What do all of these people have in common? These people are bystanders who intervened, and although their intentions were good, they paid for it with the cost of their life. This is what you're telling us, that we should intervene because who cares? Who matters? As long as it's morally right, at least we can intervene. At least we do something good, right? Even though we ourselves are not professionally trained to handle such situations. Secondly, by intervening, you could cause more casualties or even escalate the situation. Let's say in your example that there were 12 people and they could have stopped the man being raped, right? The man raping the woman. Let's say they do intervene. You know what's going to happen? Let's say I'm walking past, I see 12 people beating up a man. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get my 20 friends and I'm gonna stop that 12 people beating up that man. And we're gonna cause mass war instead of calling the police and maybe ending the situation forever. Thirdly, you are acting as judge and jury. You are acting on a situation that you yourself are not fully aware of what is going on. Same as this situation. How would you feel if you see 12 people beating up on one man? You would think, hey, why are they beating up on that man? Why don't we stop the guy? And then by stopping these 12 people, you are also causing mass riot as a result. You listed all these cases where people called the police too late or something. And while it's sad, and you also listed your bullying case, we're saying maybe next time, ask one of your friends to tell the teacher or something. Tell your friends to tell those who are more professionally able to handle such situations. You can't stop these crimes without interfering. And you said, leave her alone. You really think that will work? You go, you see someone stabbing and you say, hey, leave her alone. The murderer will say, okay, I'm sorry, I accidentally stabbed her. No, you call the police. Lastly, thus, we're not saying, unlike the other team, we do not want more casualties. We do not want more loss of life. We do not want more deaths. We just want you to do your job, be a good witness, and call the police. That is all.
Hello. I'm here to restate something that Carlos said and to add upon it. A bystander, like you said, is someone that is there for the event but does not take place. But this bystander might not know what he's doing. He might see someone trying to beat a child, but might have the wrong idea. This person might not trying to beat the child. He might try to be helping the child. But in that case, you go try to help this child, then what will happen? You'll cause a problem out of nothing. This problem might escalate to a point where you might have to go to court, to jail, just for nothing, just for intervening in something that you didn't understand, acting as the judge and the jury.
Also, anyone who intervenes, as Ali said, will be acting as the judge or the jury. And these people, the judge and the jury, they all have their or the cops, they all have their own job, which is to protect. So it's the police's job to protect somebody who's getting assaulted. It's the police's job to protect someone anyone who's being attacked, and that's why we shouldn't intervene.
Done? Okay. Cross-examination. Now it's time for the cross-examination part where each of the teams will have a chance to question the other. I would like to remind the contestants to not interrupt each other. In case of someone interrupts the other, the team will lose a point. If it's not your time to speak, please raise your hand and stick to the time limit. Let's start with the green. Yellow, orange. Nine, orange.
Hello. Okay, I'm gonna start out with a question in the cross-examination. So, how do you feel if someone close to you died because bystanders walked away or did not want to make a move?
If it's not a bystander's responsibility to intervene, why does every police station include specialized staff to receive calls and complaints?
Are we or are we not obliged to help out our community and all those in it? Well, I want to give an example here. Actually, I want to shed light on something. Now, bystanders comes in many forms. There are active bystanders and ideal bystanders. I would like to give the traits of each one. An active bystander.
Excuse me. You're supposed to be replying to what they said, not list your argument.
I'll reply to what they said.
Yes.
Okay.
He first. Yell.
Yeah, we're done.
Sure done.
Yeah, if that's the case, we're done.
You're supposed to reply to what they said, to the arguments.
I'll reply.
Defend yourself.
Sorry, lawyer.
Calling the police is a type of intervention. There are many ways to intervene. You can separate them, provide distraction, delay the situation, directly intervene, group intervene, make a scene. For example, say that she's your sister or your brother, or if he was a man, he's your brother. Or you can call the professionals. It's the type of intervention. If there was a fire, firefighters. If there was a crime going on, policemen.
Okay, at the very beginning, you said if a pregnant woman was on the street giving birth and in labor, you're just supposed to leave them, not do anything about it. I mean, you just let her die from all that labor pain. You could call a doctor or a specialist. It's not. That's also a way of intervening.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Argue.
First of all,
I said argue. No. Yes, I said yes. Yes.
Okay,
You can argue. Let's
okay,
maintain
can you
order.
ask her first, what were you saying, sorry? About baby in labor and then you wouldn't help her? We're not saying you shouldn't help the baby. We're saying we should call those who can help the baby. You want to help. Intervening is operating on the baby. So what you're saying is you should cut open the stomach, take out the baby, and then, hey, I helped surgery. You're not professionally able to do so. Intervening, as I said, is to take part. Calling the police is not taking part. That's all.
تفضل. Defend yourself. Defend your point of view.
Yes, we are saying that
But they said they're done. Nine orange.
You mentioned that intervening has to be physical. Well, a bystander is a person who's present and does nothing. He just watches the situation. When you're calling a police or calling any professional, that is intervening. No matter what, intervening doesn't mean to jump in between both of them. Calling the police is easy than intervening.
Do you have a reply?
Can I just add something to what he said?
Finish, خلص.
So you're saying that calling the police is not intervening. It's like saying you're giving a gun to someone and telling him to shoot someone. That is intervening. So,
this case is not only about human beings, but about all living things. For example, an elephant in 1903 was electrocuted in front of 1,500 people, and the ASPCA considered they are the organization that are in order to protect these animals. They consider it to be normal. And other than that, Ilan Halimi, he's a 24-year-old guy. He was kidnapped in front of 20 people and was raped, although he's a man, and was killed. And 17 people started just watching, and 19 jumped in and helped him. Why was that?
Done. Nine green.
Sorry, can you repeat your question again? Your question, the one you asked us? Oh, okay. You said the elephant being electrocuted in front of 3,000 people. What did you want them to do exactly? And then you said calling a police is not intervening. Well, I have to say, you can't go against the definition here. The definition says come between or take part. And giving a gun to someone and telling them to shoot, that has nothing to do with intervening, whether or not. Intervening means you physically stop something. Giving a gun to someone means you're basically doing murder. Like,
As you said about the elephant thing, what did you want other people to do? If somebody were to go jump into there and do something to the elephant, or to try to save the elephant, you'd probably just get electrocuted too, just for trying to stop what the people were doing.
And at the same time, that elephant question of yours, you just said the elephant was being electrocuted. You didn't say who was electrocuting the elephant or somebody. You just said the elephant was being electrocuted.
then he mentioned what man being raped and kidnapped in front of 10,000 people or whatever. Like I said before and before, time and time again, I guess you guys have a hearing problem, but calling the police or alerting the authorities is not intervening, is what we recommend a bystander to do. As you define bystander, you said it's somebody that does not take part but is present at the scene. Well, then we tell you, don't be a bystander. It doesn't say, do bystanders have to be a bystander? No, it says, do bystanders have a responsibility to intervene? And we're saying, no, they don't, but they do have a responsibility to alert the authorities.
Go ahead.
As the definition of the bystanders, as said by Wikipedia or Google, the bystander is a person who stands outside the problem without intervening with the problem. And if a bystander gets into a problem, he's no more a bystander, he's an intervener or another corner of the problem.
Do you have a reply or?
Yeah, okay, I agree with you when you say bystanders can get in trouble and intervening, calling the cops is not intervening. But what is morally correct? Would you leave someone to die? Yes, the cops could intervene. Yes, you could call them, but are you sure? Are you sure that they could get there in time? Would you let a relative of yours walk down the street and have 30 people watch him die? Yes, they could call the cops. Yes, they can. But they still have that memory. The cops can't always be there in time. They always have that memory of getting assaulted.
The elephant was electrocuted by one of the guards, and nobody did anything. Nobody complained, nobody just did anything.
Okay. Do you want to add anything to this statement? Okay. Yes, yes.
You said that these 30 people are watching this relative in the street being murdered or being stabbed. What if one of them or maybe two of them went to help and they also got stabbed? Wouldn't that just make the problem bigger?
Yes, are you done? Yes. Now the closing statement. I will start with the proposition team. 9 orange.
Bystanders have the right to intervene, interfere, intercede, and interrupt any act. The right that I refer to here is not a right of citizenship. No, it is a humanitarian right. I would like to give an example that relates with our topic. A relative of yours, actually I would like to say that again. A relative of yours was walking down the street and was assaulted by a gang. Eventually your relative is murdered. But he or she wasn't alone. There were 10, 20, 30 people that could have helped. Now you said that maybe you said that 1 or 2 people went. What about if 10 or 20 people went? Because you believe that bystanders should not intervene because they put themselves in danger or could escalate the problem. Would you forgive them? Would you allow them to follow your opinion on this matter? Answer that question truthfully, honestly, and unbiasedly, and you will know. I believe that you wouldn't forgive them, and vice versa. The moral of this example is be an active bystander. Sooner or later, you or your loved one could be a victim too. Because we have the right to help out our community and all those in it. We have the power to shield the countless people who are bullied, abused, and assaulted every day. We have the judgment to know what is right and what is wrong. And we shouldn't stand by with our opinion. We should stand up Stand up, all those who watch crimes. Stand up, all those who intervene not. Stand up, all those who stand by. Stand up, dear bystanders. Stand up, dear onlookers. Stand up, dear watchers, and do what is right. Don't be a bystander, be an upstander. Thank you.
Wow. Okay, thank you. Nine Green.
Unlike the other team, we do not want more casualties. We don't want more loss of life. We don't want more death. All they have stated, okay, we are here. We have shown you why we believe that bystanders should not intervene. You can get gravely injured, and you can escalate the situation even further. You guys only stated that it is morally right. Well, let me ask you this: what morally right? If it's morally right, then Stalin is my God, because he believes that Russia should become. He only did these stuff because he wanted Russia to be the best. You said active bystander. I say, okay, you can be an active bystander because you, by being an active bystander, is also calling the cops, alerting the authorities, because you have little training and because you should be an upstander. No, you should be a good stander.
Okay, thank you. And the final results: 9 Orange with 55 points and 9 Green with 43 points. Congratulations.
تحياتي الناين اورنج.
Excuse me. كيف maximum?
Mister, come over here. Come over here.
Wow.
I don't know why الصراحة.
What did you give me? Oh, leave me alone. I know. Look at this. That's kind of cool, isn't it? Ah, Mr. Webby suck. 2, 3, 2, 4.